As part of a major redevelopment project at the old Walt Disney Studios park at Disneyland Resort Paris, we will be seeing a Lion King log flume taking place in the next few years. And now we've got some projected layouts and potential scenes, we're going to have a look in detail at what could be happening in terms of the ride experience of this particular attraction. We're going to go through the history of this project and also my thoughts on this brand new attraction. And who knows, potentially in the future, we may get an interview right here on the channel with the park itself. So before we get started, make sure you do like the video if you've loved it, subscribe if you're new around here, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, thrill seekers of all ages, let's get straight into this video talking about the Lion King log flume at Disneyland Resort Paris. Let's go. Disneyland Paris has been undergoing a large-scale transformation and expansion effort, especially for the Walt Disney Studios park, to rebrand it as Disney Adventure World. The park is shifting from a studio backlot theme to immersive lands themed to Disney and Pixar franchises, backed by a multiple-phase €2 billion investment plan. Part of the expansion includes the world of Frozen, which is planned to open in 2026, and another part of this development is the Lion King land and the attraction that's scheduled to follow. So here's just a quick summary then on Disney Adventure World and the whole redevelopment project before we get into more details about the Lion King log flume. Now, I went to Disneyland Paris way back in 2006, so this was kind of, I've not been to Disneyland Paris since. I've not had the opportunity to go back to that park since, or those parks since. And, you know, you got to think 2006, you know, when I was there, you're talking Armageddon special effects, you're talking the motor action stunt show, you're talking, you know, this is before Tower of Terror even came into the park. So this was way before then, you know, this is back in the day when you had a High School Musical show, you know, and I got to wear a Wildcats t-shirt, you know, it's those memories that I'll remember forever. And, you know, this is the classic days of this is the first few years of the Walt Disney Studios park, and so many wonderful attractions. Didn't get the chance to do Rock and Roller Coaster, which is obviously a shame. The big attraction that I got to do when I was a kid, when I was there, was Crush's Coaster, and that was brilliant. That's still a great ride. And for me, I think seeing this whole transformation from the studio-style feel of the Walt Disney Studios park into Disney Adventure World, where you've got these immersive themed lands, these immersive themed zones. I wouldn't say it's like an Epic Universe style refurbishment where you've got portals. It's nothing like that at all. It's kind of like Epic Universe, but without the portals, if you get what I mean, where you're being transformed into these immersive themed worlds and these realms of dreams and imagination and possibility themed around these franchises, themed around these IPs, around Disney and Pixar as well. And, you know, it's very much a discovery, adventure, you know, world of imagination style realm world, if you will, with the Disney Adventure World refurbishment. So it's all about transporting you into these different, you know, endless creative realms, you know, giving you the immersive treatment 100% all the way through. World of Frozen is going to be a fantastic start to that. I think World of Frozen is going to be a brilliant addition to Disney Adventure World. I think it was perfect to bring that in. Can't wait to see that. Hopefully, I do want to have the opportunity to go out next year and try that if possible, but if not, I can wait for that. But obviously, one of the other big things here is going to be the Lion King log flume project and the whole Pride Rock, the Lion King land, and, you know, everything that's going to be part of that particular section of the park. So let's go into a bit more detail about the Lion King project and how we've come from the start of the project when it was first announced to today, where we're seeing construction and a potential expected layout. So the plans for the Lion King themed realm, sometimes known as the Pride Lands expansion, were officially unveiled back in August 2024 at the D23 Expo, where Disney announced they would be building for the first time a fully immersive area dedicated to the Lion King in Disneyland Paris, including a major water-based attraction known as the Log Flume, with multiple drops, animatronics, themed scenery, and much, much more. Key features disclosed back at D23 2024 included a Gateway Pride Rock style feature standing at least 37 meters tall, 3 drops with one of them at a significant 16 meters height, and state-of-the-art audio animatronics and lush themed environments, including the caves beneath Pride Rock. They were also set to include classic songs from the 1994 animated film, as well as the iconic characters such as Simba, Timon and Pumbaa, to name just a few. A major planning permit submission was filed back in April 2025, and this covered things like the attraction itself in a coveted ride building and guest facilities, including retail, restrooms and a food kiosk, as well as landscaping, guest paths, utilities and much, much more. And 4 months later, in August 2025, the permit was approved. The announced timeline is that construction was set to begin in the fall or autumn of this year, which it has, after or concurrent with the opening of the world of Frozen. Now, statistically, the land will cover about 30,300 plus meters square. Now, the landscaping involved in this project is going to be absolutely major, and from the details here, you can see why. 297 trees, landscaping to evoke the savannah, themed pathways including stamped concrete, sculpted rock motifs, planting slopes, berms and much, much more, both for aesthetic theming and overall design. And of course, the big thing to note about this whole project is this is the first time we've had a Lion King dedicated themed area and attraction involved in any Disney park around the world, making this a very unique attraction and a potential creative opportunity for other Disney parks to follow suit. So Lion King looks like it's going to be heading its way to Disneyland Paris in the next few years, and I for one cannot wait for this project. Now, I want to give a massive shout out and credit to Disney Newscast, because they've got these images that I'm going to put on your screen whilst talking about this. And the first image is the expected ride layout. So we're going to go through this detail by detail, and we're going to go through this in as much as we can. So we start there in the middle with the indoor queue area at ground floor level 0 into that loading area. It looks like a dual station for this ride experience, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. And you're going to be sort of coming together in a bit of a oval shape from the entrance to the ride experience, at the actual start of the ride experience. And of course, the other side of the station, as you're coming back in, you'll be loading in this same area and then exiting around either side of the attraction. If you're exiting on the left-hand side, you're going up a flight of steps, over the start of the ride, and then down a flight of stairs, which will lead into the exit gift shop. But of course, if you're on the right side of the loading area, it means that you'll be exiting straight through a door near the flight of stairs, straight through into the exit gift shop. So as you start the ride experience, you'll go through the first scene, or the first major scene, shall we say, and you come round into a lift hill, which goes from level 0 to level 2. And then you'll be going around scene 4, scene 5, and scene 6 before you do a drop through scene 7 from level 2 to level 1. Then you turn around into scene 8, and as you're going through scene 9, scene 10, and scene 11, you'll still be on level 1. However, you will then drop to level 0 in scene 12 before coming around scene 13, and then scene 14 and 15 is where you go from a lift hill from level 0 to level 4. And then, as you're coming out of scene 15, you'll be going up that top of the lift hill, and then you'll be seeing a 52-foot drop, or I should say a 16-meter drop, straight down to level 0. And this is what I believe the outside part of the attraction will be. And then you're turning around at level 0, going through scene 18 and 19, and then you come round back into the dual loading station. Now you're probably thinking, what are the expected scenes within the ride? Well, once again, thanks to Disney Newscast, we've got that covered. With thanks to him, we've got the expected potential scene predictions via Disney Newscast and what they're predicting to be the scenes within the ride step by step. So first of all, as you're coming out of that station, you'll be going into what we believe to be Circle of Life, I Just Want to Be King, because of course we've got those classic songs, and you're sort of coming around that corner, you've got the night sky atmosphere with Simba and Mufasa around scene 5, and then you're coming through this Be Prepared style scene in scene 6, and then you're sort of dropping down as Mufasa falls to his death. Then you come round and you do the whole Hakuna Matata scene through scene 8 and scene 9. As you're coming into scene 10 and 11, you've got another brilliant nighttime atmosphere. Again, works very well with the darkness of Be Prepared in scene 6. And of course, the nighttime Mufasa scene in scene 5 that's predicted to be there potentially. It's not confirmed, by the way. This is predictions from Disney Newscast. I think it works very, very well because you've got the darkness of Be Prepared, the darkness of the night sky with Mufasa, and I think having those scenes together works very, very well indeed. Bit of a black spot there in scene 12 as you go and drop, which again I expect, it's the night time. You've maybe got like a bit of a drop down the hill towards the water, which is, in my opinion, I think if that's the scene we're expected to see, I think that that's maybe the story of what's going to happen in terms of the second drop. So you're sort of rolling down the hill into a night lake, or at the bottom of a lake during the night sky. So that's maybe why they're going with that. And then, of course, it goes into a bit of a darker moment there. And, of course, that battle with Scar takes you all around as you are escaping the flaming Pride Rock as it starts to crumble. And, of course, you escape Pride Rock down that massive 52-foot drop, then turning back inside as a new king is crowned on top of Pride Rock. And, of course, it's a very happy ending as you turn back into the dual loading station. So again, that is not the confirmed scenes for the ride. This is just Disney Newscast's prediction. And I've got to say, I think with the whole story of the experience, you've got to think he's got this spot on. In my personal opinion, I think he's got it spot on. I think that that is, in my opinion, what I would see in terms of a complete Lion King ride experience and a dark Flume experience. I think that the scenes make sense. I think the fact that, you know, you got the drops in certain places, especially those, the second and third drop, especially those two drops where you've got the first drop coming as part of Mufasa's, you know, fall and death. You know, you've got the first drop there, you've got the second drop as you're maybe coming down the hill during the night sky, I think with the black spot. I think that's brilliant. And then you got the final drop as you're escaping a flaming Pride Rock, you know, when Scar's reaching his ending. You know, again, I think all three drops were in the right place with the right scenes at the right time via this prediction. So I think, again, this is a massive, massive indicator as I think it's going to be similar, if not the same as this prediction from Disney Newcastle in terms of how the ride experience is going to go. I think that this is going to be wonderful. I saw some pictures online over the last few weeks of testing certain elements, including that big drop in a backstage area of Disneyland Resort. So again, you know, we're not too far away from this. We're only a couple of years away, you know, hopefully 2-3 years at the very least. It's going to be a brilliant project. This will be open after World of Frozen by at least a year or so. So I really cannot wait for this. I really cannot wait for this project. I think it's going to be brilliant. Cannot wait to experience it myself. Hopefully we do want to be there to be one of the media individuals to help launch this attraction in a few years time. So we would like to go out there to Paris in a few years to actually try this experience for the first time. And this is just going to be a wonderful ride experience for everyone involved. So what are my thoughts overall on the Lion King ride experience and the Pride Land area opening at the Disney Adventure World, formerly known as Walt Disney Studios Park, hopefully, but not confirmed, around 2027, 2028, maybe even 2029. I think this is going to be an absolutely fantastic experience for all families. Disney nail it on their head when it comes to theming, when it comes to telling stories, when it comes to really immersing the guests into each and every ride experience. That is one of the main traits of Disney. They do this incredibly well. They've got to immerse their guests. They've got to bring them into the ride experiences. I think this Lion King ride will be absolutely no different. Whether the actual ride experience is the same or similar to Disney Newscast's predicted ride layout in terms of the expected scenes in the certain places within the ride experience, the layout on screen is the ride layout. That's the expected ride layout. The scene image was actually just a prediction. As we've said, this is just a prediction in terms of scenes. If it's similar or the same to what we saw on screen from Disney Newscast prediction, I think this will be an absolutely world-class ride experience. You look at some of the other water rides, in terms of flume rides in the Disney parks around the world, the Splash Mountains of this world, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, of course, in America, which is the re-theme of Splash Mountain, the original Splash Mountain. I think that this is going to be a completely different ride experience, but still have that charm of the other Disney flume rides. And who knows, maybe this is the key or the edge or the breaking point to push more flume rides, not just in the Disney parks, but other parks as well, because we see some of the more thrilling flume rides like your Chapas at Phantasialand, the story-based ones like Valhalla at Pleasure Beach in Blackpool here in the UK. You know, these storied flume rides. I'd like to see the flume ride make a return. I'd like to see the flume ride make a return to parks in the UK, more parks in Europe, more parks around the globe. I want to see the flume ride make a miraculous modern comeback, because we're starting to see these newer models pop up now. The launched flume rides, more storied attractions. Take the Valhalla example, take the new Disney example, which is coming in a few years now with this Lion King attraction. I seriously think there is a massive gap in the market for even more storied, detailed flume attractions. Night Flight Expedition, perfect example. Yes, it's not really a flume ride as such, however there will be flume elements above a rocking boat style dark ride experience. So, you know, there's really good flume rides and flume attractions popping up left, right and centre now in terms of future editions over the next few years, and ones that have been popping up in the last few years as well. So this attraction will be no different, and I guarantee this will be a world-class experience if, well, I won't even say if it opens, when it opens, because it's pretty much guaranteed to open anyway. So this experience is going to be brilliant. I can't wait for it, and I think Disney will once again smash it out of the park. So that is it for our visit to Pride Rock, and of course we will check out any construction updates and bring you a collector construction update at some point here on the Coast Shell YouTube channel. For now though, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new around here, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Coast Shell YouTube channel. Keep living the coast alive, and we will see you in the next video very, very soon. Take care, have a Lion King-tastic day. And if you're having a bad day, remember these words: Hakuna Matata.